Let's talk about all of this with Oliver Whitfield-Mircic. He's our talkTV reporter. He's live outside the High Court for us. Oliver, has Prince Harry actually turned up yet? He's due to start being cross-examined in about an hour's time. Is he actually in the court yet?
No, he's not in the court yet. We haven't seen any vehicles that have arrived. We believe this is the only entrance in which he could come through, so it's not like they could sneak him in round through a side or a back door. You can probably hear the news choppers that are above our heads at the moment, all trying to get that shot of his vehicle, which we're expecting will come down here, turn into the street just behind me, and then the police presence on the street that's also just behind me will guide him into that court.
Can I just say here, this is a personal bugbear of mine as a broadcaster, is how much I hate the TV choppers, because whatever the event, the TV choppers always ruin all the reporting on the ground with the noise for a picture of a car turning into a street when you're actually going to use the pictures taken by photographers on the street in the actual papers. Frankly, I've never understood it, but there we are. It's a personal bugbear as a broadcaster. Look, let's talk about what we're going to hear, though, today. We were expecting to hear Prince Harry being cross-examined yesterday, explain the circumstances of him simply not bothering to turn up, and the judge's response.
Yeah, the judge was a little bit surprised, is what he said, because he had previously told the barristers from both sides that they should have a witness ready to be cross-examined in the event that the opening arguments didn't go on for as long as what they thought. And that's exactly what the Mirror Group newspaper's barrister did. He cut short his opening arguments so that he would have more time to cross-examine Prince Harry. So they said that they were upset. They thought it was deeply troubling that the Prince had not turned up, that they were only told about the development at the end of last week. However, the barrister representing Prince Harry said that his client had only flown in from Los Angeles late on Sunday night. He'd been celebrating his daughter Elizabeth's second birthday there, and so he would not make it until Tuesday. The judge has ultimately said, though, that Mirror Group newspapers will be given enough time to cross-examine Harry. It looks like it could even go into Wednesday now, and the court might even sit for longer.
I think it's backfired, isn't it? That basically the court said, well, the judge said you can get an extra half a day for questioning him, you know, having lost that extra time. I mean, this is the thing. Lots of people are commenting on how arrogant that appeared. Yeah, of course you want to be at your kid's birthday, but you're going to have to accept you might not get a good night's sleep the night before your case. Maybe you should have thought about that beforehand. But this is the interesting thing, isn't it? This is where Prince Harry is going to be cross-examined. He's going to be asked questions from someone who's not got his best interests at heart. This is the Casey, the barrister for the defence for Mirror Group newspapers. He's going to be questioning everything. It's not a question of Oprah Winfrey or Tom Bradbury or any other, you know, Omid Scobie, some soft soap interviewer personally chosen by Prince Harry to do an interview and do it sort of on his terms. He doesn't get to choose the questions. He doesn't get to choose the, you know, how long it goes on for. This is the first time, not just the first time that in 132 years that a royal has faced a High Court trial, but actually the first time that he has ever been properly questioned.
Yeah, and that's the risk here for Prince Harry. Those questions could come from a variety of different angles. They might switch quite often. They're going to try to unsettle Prince Harry. They're going to try to make him look untrustworthy in front of the eyes of the judge. And remember here that if this does go to a final settlement as ordered by the judge, those damages could be quite substantial. So this barrister, who is acting on behalf of Mirror Group newspaper, will be trying his damnedest to make sure that his client does not have to pay out on this. However, on the opposing side, the lawyer and barrister who's representing Prince Harry and the three other claimants wants to try to make sure that the newspapers are held accountable for what they accuse is widespread phone hacking, the use of private investigators, and illegal information gathering practices that have dated back historically over many years. But Julia, you know, it's not just this court case where Prince Harry could face delicate questions. Not only is he going to face questions about Chelsea Davies, the breakdown of that relationship, the relationship with his mother, Princess Diana, there could potentially be questions about his drug use, as was revealed in the autobiography Spare. Now, here in the UK, those questions could come under oath. The lawyers over in the US will be looking at that very acutely because a conservative think tank over in Washington, D.C. is asking the courts in America to look into Prince Harry's visa application, because when you apply for a visa in the US, you have to put down whether you've ever used recreational drugs. They want to see whether the judge will look into that further. Potentially there, if the judge was to look into that and make a ruling, it could lead to Prince Harry losing his visa and then having to leave the US.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. At the very least, they're asking the Heritage Foundation, this think tank, saying we want to see it published. Did he lie and say he hadn't used illegal drugs, or did he tell the truth but get given a waiver? As an, you know, you and I, if we said, oh yeah, I've used loads of cocaine, we wouldn't be allowed in the States, wouldn't be allowed a visa to live and work there, and yet he's given special treatment. That's obviously the issue there. And this is the thing, isn't it? Prince Harry has got a massive vendetta against the media. He still blames the paparazzi for what happened to his mother in 1997 when she was killed. Again, that wasn't the British media, that was foreign paparazzi who operate a law unto themselves. Those pictures weren't being bought by the British media, but, you know, under deals done with the palace. But he's got this vendetta. He feels that the media, his job, his role in life is to overturn, you know, the British media and the way it works. You know, and a plague on all our houses. And yet at the same time, he wants to be able to use the media to sell his book, do a Netflix documentary, do an interview on Oprah Winfrey, tell his version, his truth of a version of events. And a lot of people are saying, you know, they might have a sympathy with him in some of these cases. You know, he was a little boy who lost his mum. I mean, it's horrible. But this feeling that he wants to have his cake and eat it, it doesn't sit well when you've got a multi-millionaire prince whinging about his lot in life, whinging about his privacy being invaded, selling the most private moments, the proposal to his wife, you know, moments of his child looking at a picture of his dead mother, and basically selling that to the highest bidder, which is what he's done.
Well, I imagine that's going to form part of the basis for the defence in this case. They will look at that seeming contradiction of somebody who values his privacy and then saying that the press have intruded on that privacy. For the Prince yesterday, his barrister was saying that it has led to paranoia. It has led to the breakdown of relationships, not only with his former girlfriend, but among friends who he believed was leaking these stories to the press, then only to find out and to make the accusations that it was Mirror Group newspapers who'd been listening in on his answer phone messages. Look, it's one of these cases that is, again, going to split opinion. PR experts say, on one hand, Prince Harry is doing the right thing, especially among the younger generation who might see him as the underdog, somebody to cheer for taking on the British media. However, the other part of the PR expertise says, actually, this is only going to make him look like he's trying to cast himself as a victim yet again, and the public are turning against not only him, but his wife, the Duchess of Sussex. A case that's truly divisive, a case that's interest around the world. So there's cameras here from all over, and we're all now just waiting. So I'm just looking around to see whether that car's turned in yet, but so far, nothing yet.
Brilliant stuff. Well, thank you very much. I know you're going to be there all day for us. That's Talk TV's reporter there, Ollie Whitfield-Miocic. I think you all agree with me now on the helicopter thing, right? It's really irritating, isn't it?